Hello, hello, hello. This is Miss Cece coming to you from her home with yet another subject from the book by Dr. Amy Morin, 13 Things Mentally Strong Women Do Not Do. Today we're going to be discussing that they don't blame themselves when something goes wrong. This subject is very, very dear and near to my heart. So I am not going to rush through this subject. I'm going to be doing this in a 3-part series so that I can try to give you something that will benefit you or that you can apply to your life. Because the only thing I want to do is provide information and to provide topics that are helpful. I'm not here to raise money. I'm here because I want to talk to other people about things. And maybe perhaps a conversation will be done. Okay? Alright, so here we are in this chapter. They don't blame themselves when something goes wrong. We have a young lady her name is Erin. She's young. She's still living at home with her parents. She's working. And not all of a sudden, but in a time period, her brother dies of the opioid epidemic. Of course, that's the reason why he died. He was involved, or this was the type of lifestyle that he lived, and his life was washed out due to the opioid epidemic. Okay? So Erin comes to Dr. Morin for therapy to learn how to not take on the blame of her brother's death. Because at this point, when she comes in to Dr. Morin's office, she is feeling totally responsible for her brother's death. She says to herself, she says, maybe if I would have been more nurturing, maybe if I would have been there for my brother just to talk to, he would not have died. You know, many things in life happen to us. And when it comes to death, you don't have any control over that. Sometimes you don't have control over it. But the amount of blame that women attach to themselves is is huge compared to the responsibility and blame that men put on themselves. So she's talking about her brother and that she's blaming herself about it. So Dr. Morin is trying to show her that she can think differently about her brother's addiction and begin to let some of that self-blame let it go and begin the grieving process and start down a path of healing. Now, that was the playbook for her. So Erin started doing that. And it goes on to talk about, do you blame yourself too much? Erin was like, oh, my brother died and it's my responsibility. I should have done this. I should have done that. And she's taking on the blame of something that's outside of her scope of knowledge. I mean, is she a medical professional? No, she wasn't. So how could she have been the reason why he died? So they give some examples. She gives some examples. Do you blame yourself too much? Women, do you blame yourself too much when things go wrong? I'm going to give some examples. I'm going to give 3 examples, okay? When people treat you poorly, do you think that you deserve it and that you may have caused it? When people treat you poorly, do you think to yourself that you deserve to be treated poorly or that you caused them to treat you poorly? That's a question. Yes or no? Is that something that you take on? Let's do a second one. When things go wrong, I always think it's my fault. In your household, ladies, today, when things go wrong, do you to yourself think it's my fault? It went wrong. Wow. If I would have done this, and hindsight, you know, or you think that you didn't do enough and you blame yourself. Do you think it's your fault? And my last one, as an example, is, do you struggle to be kind to yourself because I don't think I deserve it? And the question is this: I struggle to be kind to myself because I don't think I deserve it. Be kind to myself. For you to be kind to yourself. And the reason why you struggle with it is because you don't think you deserve it. All 3 of those sentences screams low self-esteem. But we're not talking about low self-esteem. We're talking about the blame game. So, as we go on, Dr. Murray talks about how boys are taught that they do not have to deal with the circumstances of their bad behavior. And girls are taught that they need to blame themselves when something bad happens. Prime example. You got a brother and a sister, okay? The brother hits the little sister and the mom says, breaks him up and stuff, and y'all stop doing that. Don't be doing that. And she never tells her son, don't hit your sister. She turns around and says to the little girl, what did you do to provoke him? What did you do? Why is he beating up on you? It's got to be something you've done. You know, I heard that all through my childhood. You must have done something wrong. You know, for a 7-year-old, I don't think a 7-year-old should be talking about what the 7-year-old did to a grown adult. So that's my personal take on this. That we as women, some women, not everybody, have been molded and have been taught that when something goes wrong, you are responsible for it. What did you fail to do? Did you make the situation worse? And it's your fault because things didn't work out. Finally, I'm going to tell you about Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, which you probably all know who she is quoted in her book, in Dr. Moore's book, as saying, I'm going to paraphrase, as saying that her sexual harassment on her job was something that she struggled with, and for her to come out during the Me Too movement was very empowering for her, because as she was coming along in the career in the news media, she was told that she had to do certain things in order to get promoted as an anchor, spokesman, the people that are right in front of cameras that tell you the news. And she was invited to go to this individual's home one night, and she was going to go, but something told her, don't go. So she called him to him, I'm not coming, okay? And he says to her, well, your friend's already here. Why don't you come on over and we can talk about what you need to do? She refused. But this is all said for this, okay? She says to Dr. Moore, or this is a quote from Megyn Kelly, paraphrase now, okay? She says, people can criticize her only if they can say where she could have gone, who she could have talked to tell them about what was going on, the sexual harassment that she was enduring. If you have someplace that I could have gone to tell somebody, then you get the right to ask me the question, well, what did you do? What were you wearing? Did you lead him on? And that's a very strong statement, because people always want to make the victim the villain. Victims take on the responsibility of predators. Predators that molest, rape. Predators that sexually harass women. Oh, let me get a little feel. That they try to just make you do things. They make your life miserable. So she said that, and I thought that was a really, really good point. That the victims don't have to be victims, because these people talking about, oh, what you did, if they can say something that will help you or could have helped you if you knew about it, then they get a chance to say all the other stuff they want to say. And the thing about that is this, is that some people look for a rule or something or policy that the victim failed to do in order to say, well, that person must have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Oh, well, she got what she deserved. She wore a short skirt. Oh, she was just leading these men on. And she no longer is a victim. She is just a person of interest, so to speak. So, with that is the responsibility. We blame ourselves. We take on all the responsibility for the things that happen to us, the things that go wrong, the things that we shouldn't take on. Just like Erin. Erin thought that she should have been more nurturing, more loving, be there for her brother. And she took the blame and responsibility for his death. Now, we're going to diverse from there and finish this one little section. And I wrote here in this little section, I said, this is really messed up. That's what I wrote. I said, when we see someone, oh, we talked about that already. Yeah, that was it. We did talk about that. About seeing someone being violated and having a more self-assured feeling about them making the victim the predator because that person broke a rule. And I said, oh, that is so messed up. That's what I thought. I said, but you know what? People do that in the workplace. They do. What policy did she break that made her, you know? And it's okay that that happened to her because she didn't do this. She didn't do that. You know, the good old boys want to say, oh, come on, play ball. You're in a man's world and you're trying to fill the shoes of a man. Come on, you're going to have to play ball in order to get up here. Have you ever heard that before from a man? I have. I have in the military. Believe me or not, you know, the military has so many incidents and so many rapes that occur that go unreported because we are afraid of getting thrown out of the military, afraid of being passed over for promotion, afraid of getting a bad report on you in a UIF, you know. So it goes on to say when an innocent goes against, when an incident goes against your beliefs, you might blame yourself. And it talks about the U.S. gymnast doctor, Dr. Nasser, and how one of the young ladies, she had like a Stockholm syndrome with the doctor because she thought of him as a god. And while he was molesting her, okay, and getting his fill and thrills, she was blaming herself. And so the book talks about it, and it talks about it off of ABC 2020 investigation program. And it says, when something goes against your core beliefs, this is what was going on in these young ladies' lives. I mean, they knew that something was wrong with this man doing this. You find ways to explain it, the discrepancy that keeps your core beliefs intact. You come up with explanation as to why he was molesting these young ladies or touching them inappropriately. So if you believe someone is a great person, yet that person violates you in some way, you might reconcile that discrepancy by concluding you must have done something wrong. Here we go again. Women being victimized by somebody in power. And the first thing that you think to yourself, what did I do wrong? It's not just traumatic events that lead to self-blame. You might also blame yourself when a situation does not line up with your views of the world. You can be anything you want if you set your mind to it. While this message is good, it also sets us up for us to fail. All right, even myself, okay, I say it all the time. You know, you can do whatever you want to do, just set your mind to it. And after reading this portion of the book, it made me think about my speech and how I tell people that. And the reason is because of this. The book says if you get picked to do the thing that you want to do in life, if your patient told you all you have to do was to set your mind to it, then you might decide you're a loser. Or you might think you didn't put your whole heart into it and your soul into it, and that you simply didn't want it enough. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, I'll look at the book. I had to get the words out. Right. The thing is this: if me, tell my daughter, you can do anything you set your mind to. You're smart, you're intelligent, the whole line. What happens if I promote a dream that she has so permanently, so heavily, okay, over and over again, I'm telling her she can do this dream. What happens if she's unable to attain that goal? What does she do then? Does she come back and say, well, Mom, maybe I need to do this? And anything that you want to do, I'm behind you. I'm going to support you. Because you're my baby, first of all. And secondly, I don't believe that anybody has to be beaten down, depressed, suicidal. I don't believe in that mess. Because I want you to know that we can work on it. We can try to make things a little bit better. Just one step at a time, one day at a time. So the book is saying, if I do that to my daughter, and she does not attain what she wants to be, where does she go then? The book says that the young lady or that person that you said told them, you can be anything you want to set your mind to it. If they can't attain it, then they blame themselves. They'll say to themselves, believe me, I believe this too. They'll say to themselves, well, maybe I wasn't good enough. Oh, well, maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I didn't put my heart and my soul into it. And that sets them up to become victims of self-blame. So that small little paragraph taught me something, because I'm constantly saying it. Now that I understand what that can do, what impact that can have on a person, I have learned my lesson. So no longer is gonna come out my mouth, you can do whatever you want to do, blah blah blah. What's gonna come out of my mouth is this: whatever you decide to do, I support you. That's it. Whatever you decide to do, I support you. Or no, have someone that can give you the support you need to reach your goals. And it's okay for you not to be able to do something. It's okay. This too shall pass. It doesn't mean for you to become stuck and not do anything at all after that. I mean for you to use your muscles to think of something else. Okay, ladies, I'm going over my time, and I'm going to be back with you in a day or so, and we'll talk about the rest of it because I'm definitely over my time. Thank you for listening today. I have lots more stuff I want to talk to you about in this chapter. Like I said, it's going to be a 3 series. I love you all, okay? And as I always say, kiss the one you love. Hug and kiss your children and let them know how important they are to you and that you love them. And make your memories today. Why? Because tomorrow is not promised. We must make our memories today so that our legacy will live on. Love you all. I'll be back with you on this subject, and see you then. Peace out.